Is this industry representative of the communities that have historically bared the greatest brunt of injustice based on the prohibition of marijuana? According to an industry trade publication, 73% of cannabis executives in Colorado and Washington are male, 81% are white. In the state of Massachusetts, just 3.1% of the marijuana businesses in the state were owned by minorities, and just 2.2% were owned by women. Does this seem kind of in line with your personal experience on the ground? Is this industry representative of the communities that have historically bared the greatest brunt of injustice based on the prohibition of marijuana?
Absolutely not.
So these industries are in no way looking, it doesn't look like any of the people who are reaping the profits of this are the people who were directly impacted.
That is correct.
Is it possible for a situation where a private equity group that profited off of for-profit incarceration could turn around and take that margin, invest it as a first mover in the cannabis industry while there are still systematic barriers for investment from Black and Brown Latinos, particularly Black and Brown communities, including Latinos?
The answer to your question is yes. I mean, certainly it's the case that private equity firms who make money in one sector of our economy can definitely come in and into this industry, and because they have tremendous access to wealth, and banks aren't necessarily going to say to a $12 billion hedge fund that, no, we won't bank you, they will turn around and have access that the average mom and pop, Black-owned businesses, Latino-owned businesses, what have you, just won't be able to actually surmount some of the same hurdles that they can.
And have you experienced or seen any barriers to entry for individuals that were formerly incarcerated, particularly for nonviolent drug offenses, to enter the cannabis industry?
Absolutely. In fact, we worked tirelessly here in Washington, D.C. to get the laws changed to allow people who had previously been incarcerated or had marijuana-related offenses to allow them to be able to work in the industry. Mm-hmm. And you do see a movement across the industry to try to make that happen, but it is a challenge.
Great. And so you see really what this looks like, it's kind of coming to big picture, is that the folks who profited off of for-profit incarceration get to profit off of the legalization of marijuana first, while the communities most impacted are last in the door.
Absolutely, but I would also say that this particular act serves to actually give a valuable tool to winners of licenses, right, in that if banks do actually get active, then you do have an access to capital that you previously didn't have. And having started the second dispensary that I ever owned for under $100,000, it definitely puts opportunity firmly within reach.
Great, and just one last question. So would you recommend that in us kind of opening this opportunity or opening this lane, that also be paired with kind of affirmative licensing laws that prioritize frontline communities and communities that were most impacted to get those licenses first so that they can reap the benefits or recoup some segment of costs that they had bared in the 90s in the war on drugs?
Absolutely. There should definitely be social equity opportunities that allow those hit hardest by the war on drugs to be first in line to benefit.